If you ask 5 different people, including experts on the topic, whether early reading instruction is a good idea or not, you will most likely get 5 different answers. No wonder parents and educators are confused. And this is a real pity because this confusion leads so many times to wrong decisions about when to start teaching your child to read and to missing opportunities. That is why we've done some serious research on the topic so you get the answers you need. Are you ready to find out what our research on the topic has to say? Let's get started then. But before we start, just a very quick announcement. On the video description, you will find some links to free resources and materials to teach your child to read. Don't forget to check them out. Arguments against early reading. According to a group of experts, children will naturally pick up reading when they are ready for it. This works a bit in the same way that children pick up talking. They believe that there is not much difference in the reading achievement of children in the end, so there is no point in teaching reading early. On a study by Carlton Washburn, the renowned Evanston, Illinois educator, groups of children were introduced to formal reading at different ages, from kindergarten to 2nd grade. The study found little difference in reading achievement among the different groups. In their opinion, teaching reading before primary school doesn't offer any added benefit to children, so there is no point in doing so. In their opinion, children that have not been taught any reading before entering a school will naturally pick up reading and put themselves at the same level as others that have been trained with reading instruction before elementary school. The study, When Should Children Begin to Read? 1931 by Carlton Washburn and Mabel Vogel Morfett concluded that the appropriate mental age for formal reading instruction is 6.5 years old. The results of this study have greatly influenced national decisions about reading instruction in the US. These experts also point at countries such as Denmark or Finland, where reading instruction is introduced late and children have less reading difficulties than other countries where reading instruction is introduced early. However, making these comparisons among different countries without taking into account the level of difficulty of the language when it comes to learning to read can be tricky and even lead to erroneous conclusions. It is a bit like comparing apples and oranges. Some experts go even further on the argument against early reading instruction and say that it can be counterproductive, creating frustration in children. They believe that it could even lead to misdiagnosis of reading difficulties in children, as small kids do not have the attention span that is required for learning to read. Another very common argument against early reading instruction is that children will get bored when they go to primary school. Arguments in favor of early reading. There is a growing number of experts on the other side of the spectrum. According to them, early reading corresponds to higher intelligence throughout life. According to the study Does Learning to Read Improve Intelligence by researchers Tichy, Bates and Plummet that analyzed the reading skills and intelligence level of 1,890 pairs of identical twins, young children with strong reading skills early in life perform better on IQ tests. Studying twins is very common as it allows researchers to put aside genetic and environmental factors, as identical twins share the same genes and grow up in the same environment. Their study concluded that twins with better earlier reading ability compared to their identical tended not only to have better reading at subsequent measurements, but also higher scores on general intelligence tests. So basically, between identical twins, the sibling who is a better reader would grow up to have higher IQ. The simple fact of being introduced to early reading led to higher intelligence levels. Besides, early readers tend to become avid readers, which will give children another advantage for life, as those who read a lot will improve their verbal intelligence. That is, reading will make them smarter, according to other studies by Cunningham and Stanovic. According to those in favor of early reading instruction, teaching a child to read early has a real impact on the future child's IQ. So it is not so much about whether children learn to read in the end anyway, main argument of those against early reading, but about the potential children could be missing out. So after learning about both sides of this story, what do you think? Is early reading instruction a good idea or not? Let us know in the comment section. And if you like this type of content and are looking for information and resources for teaching reading, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you do not miss out our weekly videos. You can also find lots of information and freebies at learningreadinghub.com.